Hey there, this is Daryl Ballard, and if you're watching this video, I imagine it's because you were searching online for how to overcome your self-limiting beliefs as an internet entrepreneur or something of that nature. And if that's what you were searching for, that's what we're going to talk about. So you've come to the right place. I also wanted to let you know that I make a lot of content on this channel about internet marketing, starting your own online business, affiliate marketing, things of that nature. So if those are things you're interested in, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. I think you'll find a lot of good information there. And also the very first link below is for a 4-day training on how you can start your own 5 to 6 figure affiliate marketing business to get the residual online income that you've been looking for. Okay, so let's get started talking about how to overcome your self-limiting beliefs. Now, this is something that has been a little struggle for me because I'm a little bit of a skeptic. Now, I certainly believe in positive thinking, and I believe if you're thinking negatively that your outcome is going to be negative. That's not my issue. But the over and over repetitive putting things in your mind, and that's going to make big changes, I was always a little bit skeptical about. Obviously, if you believe you will struggle, you're going to struggle. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with conditioning and so on. But what actually changed my mind on that was I started working with the mentor that I'm working with now, the thing that turned my business around, and I decided, well, let's just do what he says to do, and it really did make a difference. So that's one of the important reasons that I wanted to talk about this. If you know anything about my story, and I've talked about it in quite a few videos, but just briefly I'll touch on it again. I've been doing online marketing kind of off and on, but it's something I definitely wanted to do. It was a big dream of mine for 14 years now, and with very little success until very recently in the last year. And I think this is one of the big things that made the difference in my business, and in the last year has turned things around for me. Okay, so let's talk about, it's kind of a formula, talk about how you can change, how you can overcome those limiting beliefs. So, you're looking for a certain outcome. You want something. Let's say what you want is to learn some sport. Let's just choose golf. I know for a lot of you that's never going to happen, not something you're interested in, but let's just use that as an example. You need to start some behaviors to learn to play golf. You would probably want to do a little reading on what a golf swing is. You'd probably want to learn the rules of golf, learn some of the etiquette out on the course, that sort of thing. You certainly would want to spend some time at the driving range, hitting some golf balls, learning how to do that. You'd probably want to take some lessons from your local pro down at the golf course. Those are the types of behaviors that you would want to do if you were going to learn how to play golf. Now, those behaviors are fine, but for a lot of us, they don't go very far because we do them for a little while and then we give up on them. What is it that we need to keep the consistency of our behaviors going? Well, working backwards now through this, we need belief. That's the next thing. We need to believe, and this is the deep down core beliefs. So let's use the example of weight loss. Most of us know that believe that if we eat a little better, eat a little less, exercise properly, that we'll lose some weight. We believe that. That's not the problem. We're talking again about that deep down core belief. It's not, will I lose weight if I do the right things? It's, will I do the right things? We are really good at understanding that, but do we have the belief that we can do it? All right, so that's the belief we're talking about. How do you get that belief? So we're working back again to the next step, the step before that. What is it that gives us that belief? And that would be hearing. And what do I mean by hearing? Well, we need to hear information. We need to hear the right information so that we can learn to have that deep down core belief. And how do we hear that right information? Well, let's use the example of the baby learning language. So we've got a baby, knows absolutely nothing about the language. He or she is learning some language. How do they learn that? Well, they hear the language. So it's hearing. Where do they hear it? They hear it from their parents. If they have brothers or sisters yet, they hear it from their brothers and sisters. They probably hear it from the TV. In this day and age, they hear it from devices, from smartphones, from computers, computer games, all of those things. They hear the language, they hear it over and over and over again, and they slowly learn what the words mean, how to use them, how to say them. Okay, so we need to hear information, and we're adults now. Do we need that repetition? Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes down to deep down believing things, hearing things, enough that we will continue the behaviors and overcome the disbelief that we have learned, the preconceived ideas and all that, we need to hear it over and over and over again. And where do we get that information? Work back to the first step. We get that information from what we'll call the source. And what is the source? Well, it would depend on what you're wanting to learn, what your outcome is going to be. But let's use, for an example, let's go right to business, like what we're talking about here. If you wanted to learn to have a successful business, you would learn it from who? You would learn it from somebody who's been there and done that. Somebody who has overcome things, somebody who maybe has gone from rags to riches. There are lots of them. We've talked about those in other videos in the business world, but in whatever subject you're doing, you can do some research and find those. Search carefully. It's important to find somebody who is really positive, can tell you good things, but you need to hear that, and you need to hear it over and over again. All right, information from the source. So, what is our formula working backwards? We're after a certain outcome, so we need to do some behaviors. How do we do those behaviors? How do we continue being consistent with that? We need belief, a deep down core belief. And how do we learn to believe? We hear information, and we hear it from the source. Okay? So, what are your action steps now? What do you do to overcome your self-limiting beliefs? Well, first, you do need to consider what outcome you're after, what you're trying to accomplish. If it's a business, like we're talking about here, you need to find the source, okay? Or sources. You're probably going to use more than one. And what you need to do is get some information that you can listen to. Watch, can be video, lots of different types of information out there. You need to get some of that information from several sources. You need to listen to it at least once a day. Twice a day would be even better. The more the better. Listening to it over and over again so it starts to permeate your very core so that you can actually believe. All right? You need to do that for 30 days. Do it for 60 days. 90 would even be good. When you start doing this sort of thing, you're going to find that your beliefs improve. It's easier to do the behaviors that you need to do to get the outcome that you want. And you'll probably continue going to the source and hearing that information long after that. All right? So I can tell you from personal experience, you do that sort of thing and it's going to make a difference for you. All right? Give it a try. Give it at least 30 days. 60 is even better. Okay? That's the way to overcome self-limiting beliefs. Okay, if you've liked the video, definitely give me some thumbs up. Consider subscribing if this is something that you really like. And again, check out that 4-day free training on the 6-figure affiliate marketing income that you can get. Teach you how to do it step by step. All right, so thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next video. This is Daryl Ballard.